called Wizard of Legend.
Wizard of Legend.
Oh no, don't say
Yes.
that. All right, now, dude, I am going to go into Deadpool 2.
Yes.
Who's coming with me?
Hi.
Who's coming with me?
Hello.
Is that you?
Spoiler free as possible.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So the very understated Mix Macabre, whose energy is just
Rip Warren.
yes. Yeah, okay. So give us the rundown on Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2. I'm trying to think of really non-spoilery ways to say this. Cable's in it.
Yeah.
And a bunch of stuff goes down where Deadpool has to protect a mutant teen. And this teen is a rambunctious youth who Cable wants to kill. And Deadpool's like, no, I gotta save this kid. And that's a very kernel basic overall premise, I'd say.
And I like how you delivered the flair.
That's the meat of it, if you will.
All right. Deadpool 2. Ryan Reynolds is bringing us back to the world of the Merc with a Mouth in the sequel to, was it 2017? 2016?
2016.
2016.
In the franchise where they're allowed to say mutants.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Which is great.
Oh,
That's always nice.
I'm waiting for them to infiltrate the Avengers somehow.
It'll happen someday, but yeah, this had a lot of good goofs. Had some heart to it, more heart than expected, actually.
I was surprised.
Made some. I will not comment on the specifics because they're very spoilery, but made some interesting choices that mirrored things that are major plots from the comics in ways that were very different, but still mirrored major plot points from the comics, and I was really into that. I thought it was done very well.
Yeah, references left and right.
Well, not just references, like there are characters that were avatars for other characters that are major Deadpool important ones. And yeah, I want to speak really quick to, there's been a lot of fanfare about, queer character representation. It's two chicks holding hands.
Oh man, they are progressive.
I'm so mad about this, guys. It's Deadpool. Come on. I mean, there's some cheeky stuff in there. Don't get me wrong. Again, right at the end, there's actually a line that I really appreciated that I will not say because it's spoilers, but it's a little bit of a wink, wink nod to Deadpool's pansexuality. But overall, there wasn't any real queer representation. I'm tired of these kernels and nuggets being given to me.
You heard it here first. Deadpool is anti-queer.
Yes, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. Actually, one of the running gags that I thought was really funny, and this is not a spoiler because it's super minor, Deadpool keeps framing things that Cable says to make him sound racist, and it is hilarious.
Yeah, I dug that particular running gag myself. And I will call out Cable as well, dude. The performance of Josh Brolin.
Oh my god, good.
I was skeptical. Were you?
I came into it thinking like, all right, he's coming over. We just saw him as Thanos. We just saw him all CGI'd up. Here he is, all CGI'd up again. He was so good. I mean, I really think that he was. I mean, again, obviously, like as a lot of us are coming out of the '90s X-Men stuff, loving that TV show. I really think that the casting in this movie, Domino, everybody's so great. Mm-hmm. Fantastic casting.
Also, the costume design. There were so many pouches. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. He had so many pouches. He even had the little pouches with his face on it. Mm. And there was another excellent shout out. Shout out to his creator who can't draw feet. Like, good stuff.
So the overall opinion of the new look X-Force.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah, X-Force.
Because that was my thing. When I saw the X-Force on the trailer, I was like,
Let's just say,
snap. It's
perfection.
All right, good.
Beautiful.
Shatterstar is probably one of my favorite X-Force
characters. Then you will not be disappointed.
He was.
Yeah, I know.
You are the only person in life I've ever heard.
Dude, I had I had the cards. I had the action figures.
Everyone had those too. You know who died in every fight I staged with those action figures? Shatterstar.
You're gonna love Deadpool. Shatterstar is the best character.
Do you know what Shatterstar's power was, bro?
Yes,
Deadpool
he's alien and an a-hole. That's his power.
No,
you didn't know.
That's not his power.
His power was he can use any weapon, no matter what as soon as he touched it, you automatically know how to use it, no matter what it was.
Yes.
Could have been like a pink dildo, blah, blah, blah.
He had two swords, and I wish he died in every issue.
No, he had a sword with two blades that were separated.
Wait, he had two of those, didn't he?
Yeah, two.
I'm not judging,
that's what I'm talking about.
I loved Adam X.
I love you, Mix.
I know. I'm not
All
judging.
right,
I loved
well.
Adam X. Remember Adam X?
Yes, dude, come on.
He make lots of little cuts.
X
make little
Factor,
cuts.
X-Force.
What's his power? Oh, well, first he's got to cut you. Just a little bit. He's got to cut you. I love him. So edgy. He's got like a backwards baseball cap and braids and like a little beaded goatee.
So you know who I like? I like Strong Guy and Maverick. Okay, that's where I'm at.
Maverick was great. Maverick was great.
Yeah,
I love that character. Strong Guy was just champ.
Strong Guy was like the best iteration of Judge Doom. Okay, that's Strong Guy.
Maybe if I'm really lucky, I'll get Adam X in Deadpool 3. If I'm real lucky. You hear me out there? Anyone who works on Deadpool, I want Adam X in Deadpool 3.
Now, is there going to be a?
Supposedly there is going to be a 3.
So there's not only going to be a 3.
Oh, there's more.
There's actually going to be a standalone X-Force film.
Nice.
Separate from Deadpool 3, so saith the...
That I think might be a bit much, though.
Is this going to happen? I don't know.
Well,
based
on the performance of the movie, can they not carry their own movie?
Now, honestly, I don't think so, because as much as I liked this movie, it did have several flaws, and as a story itself, I feel this was more interested in giving fan service than in telling a coherent,
I disagree.
A unique story. I do like the way they presented it, but I don't think this was ever intended as like a grand opus of, I got the Deadpool trilogy or whatnot.
No, it's a good sequel. I would say that it's a good sequel. Is it a phenomenal sequel? No, but you know what? It's a good sequel. I was saying, if I want to give Deadpool a 10 out of 10, because for me, Deadpool 1, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that was perfect.
This is an 8, which is still a superior film, which is still a movie that I would say absolutely go see. It's wonderful. Like, again, this is not, I'm going to say this the least spoilery possible. Something that happens in the first 5 minutes that made me really, really mad. And then as it played out, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing with this. And it's phenomenal. Like, they really, other than the queer baiting, really like rose and met every expectation I had. And I think that it was very, very well done. Very enjoyable.
Now, Josh Brolin's as Cable, like, was he portraying like Deadpool Cable combo? Because usually it's very hokey and comic-y, or is he like more serious?
No, he's not quite
Cable?
there yet.
There's no friendship between Deadpool and Cable.
So this is Cable.
We get there. We get there. This is how does that friendship blossom?
Okay, for the majority of this, but
he's the he's the main antagonistic character for the most of this film. But it's very. I mean, again, I don't want to give away things, but
it was an interesting take too on how they introduced more characters that we have always hoped to see and see done right. Okay. And this, I think, being removed from the direct influence of the studio heads that are responsible for giving us things like working in Juggernaut memes in X-Men movies, we're able to get the right representations of certain characters and put them in interesting and fun situations, and also allow them to make the most inappropriate references without
we got a lot. There's a lot more Colossus in this one, and he's my special boy, so I was really excited about that. And yeah, there's just some Colossus got some good lines in this one.
Yeah,
it's real good.
They did a lot of a lot more fourth wall stuff too that I think sometimes was a bit much, but the way they worked in what was funny was just like spot on. Like things you're thinking and things you may have thought about the first movie, they call out. And the thing is, you don't see it coming until you're right there and like, oh, I was just thinking that right now. So I appreciate that as well. I appreciate that self-awareness too.
Well, it's hard for them a little bit because one of the cruxes of Deadpool is, of course, his little yellow boxes in the comics, is that we get that fourth wall breaking in a very specific way where Deadpool kind of talks to himself. He has the white boxes, he has little yellow boxes. It's a whole thing. And you have to have more of almost like a soliloquy aside to have that fourth wall break. And I feel that this, more so than the first one, did a very good job of having a comic book flow to it, if you will, where all of the plot lines of the movie felt very comic book in origin.
Well,
like,
that was one of my
wasn't
issues,
trying to be too realistic.
That was one of my issues, actually, because I felt the rest of it really meshed as a story, except when it got really comic booky.
No, I love it.
And when it got really comic booky is... there's a couple of scenes, and even though the scenes themselves are enjoyable, they took me out of the movie for a few minutes when I'm like, this is obviously set up to be like a big comic book-esque scene. And the thing is, the way they wrote it, it worked, but it felt like it worked by accident. accident to me.
No, I disagree.
It felt like this is them actively trying to make a comic book movie. And I thought that was a mistake that just happened to pan out for them.
My thing is that this is a comic book movie.
That was intentional though? Like, you don't think that was an intentional approach? I mean, it is Deadpool.
Well, no. My thing is, one of the things that's really worked for the Marvel movies, for comic book movies in general over the past few years, has been making things less comic booky and more realistic story flow-esque, Even you're dealing with ridiculous stuff. Yeah. Thor, the god of thunder, coming down from the Rainbow Bridge.
But then I would say...
And they made it work somehow.
Well, the most successful Thor movie for me is Ragnarok, which is also the most Kirby-esque comic book.
Yes, but you are always going to be biased on those things because you love Loki. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
You are wrong because I'm a huge fan of Thor comics in general, and that's really diminishing on the fact that I'm a long time comic book fan.
All right, well, I apologize. I've always felt that there was a skewing there, but if I'm off base, my bad.
As I've said in many different times, I don't actually like Marvel Universe MCU Loki, but my point is that I feel one of the highest points for me for Deadpool 2 is the fact that it felt like I'm watching a comic book movie that felt like a live action comic book and wasn't trying to be too realistic, and I actually appreciated that. We clearly have different opinions on it.
Definitely. This is the thing that I was really digging, and that's like the one thing that took me out of it. Now, don't get me wrong. That does not mean I did not enjoy this picture, and that does not mean I did not enjoy Deadpool enough to recommend it, because I actually do. I give it a thumbs up, but also have to inject that caveat of the first one was a solid movie. The second one felt like a comic book movie, but I still give it that thumbs up. Mix?
I would give it a super thumbs up. I enjoyed it immensely.
Mm-hmm. Deadpool 2 is out in theaters right now. I highly recommend checking it out. Also, Rick, recommend checking it out because, dude,
I'm gonna watch it Thursday.
We wanted you in on this.
Thursday, first thing, man.
All right.
I'm excited now.
We sold you?
Yeah, I'm a huge Cable fan, man. Like,
you will enjoy it. Then
Cable, like like the sinister story between Scott Summers and how he's related to the. Like, I know that whole familial hierarchy, so it's like I'm just excited to finally see
Coolness
him.
Skips a generation in the Summers family.
We'll talk.
I still say Corsair.
You know you're covered.
They should have worked Corsair in somehow. That's my opinion.
That would be so dope, but they can't do that.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were gonna do with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I swear to God, they were gonna bring Corsair. I would have been so mad if they did that.
They don't own that sheet of characters. Really? He's lumped in with the X-Men stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Wait, but I thought all the Marvel cosmic.
We're not quite there yet. We're not quite anything that's like tangentially X-Men. We're not quite there yet.
When will they learn?
Well, they own it now. I know they're like in some dark vault figuring that crap out right now. Eventually, somebody's gonna spill out and just mention mutant, and then you'll be like, "That's it." It starts there.
So then maybe we'll get Living Tribunal for no reason.
Why?
For no reason.
All right, so it's Deadpool 2, recommended by those of us who actually caught it. Johnny.
Sorry. Tomorrow.
Man, it's busy.
Matinee night, so I'll probably catch it.
Yeah, Tuesday, cheap matinee.
Yeah, on Apple Cinema.
You gotta forgive Johnny. He was in the Bermuda
Shout out
Triangle.
to Apple Cinema. They have new seats.
Earth.
Yeah, new seats and still very low prices. I think it's like $4 and change.
Yep.
For a matinee.
For a matinee.
Yep.
Every Tuesday.
Yep.
At the Apple. Yep.
Which one? Which one you go to?
Ample Parking.
Yeah, there. The Pond. Fresh
Apple
Pond.
Cinemas
Fresh
Pond. Highly
Every
recommend.
Tuesday?
Every Tuesday.
Okay.
This has been the Geek Down, sponsored by Apple Cinemas in Cambridge. I want to thank you all for joining us for another action-packed, fun-filled show. You can catch us every Monday nights right here on WEMFradio.com. But if you were just